Good morning. It's Ginny, Eli, and Tim from DS Tech, and we are going to talk about what you can use AI for right now and how it can possibly benefit us in the future for other uses. We talked before we came on here, and it's really interesting, so you're going to want to stay tuned. So make sure you go to dstech.net to check out the free assessments that we offer and open support tickets or whatever, and email security@dstech.net if you want our newsletter, or if you want one of the free assessments there too, you can also ask for one. So what do you think? What can we use AI for now and in the future?
Let's start focusing on the now.
Okay.
So the use cases that most people are using it for is when it comes to creative writing, whether that's you're writing headlines, whether you're writing stories, news articles, marketing materials, or you just want to rephrase an email to a customer of yours, in a more gentler way, friendlier way, or some other way, however you want to do it. You can give it information and ask it, hey, can you write this a little bit easier, or rephrase this for a business owner, or different things like that. And it can use different words in your email and help you kind of tailor it. You still want to obviously have an editor go through it all and check it for typos and mistakes, things like that. But that's really where I see right now everyone's kind of using it. So
I just used it in my marketing, looking for headlines, like you said. And I was like, I just couldn't think of the wording yet. So I plugged in, this is the person I'm targeting, and this is what she's struggling with. And yes, I use she because I'm a she. So anyway, so I put that in there, and then I put, this is what I'm trying to portray to the customer, what I can do for them, and spit out like 6 headlines. And it did. It gave me 6 headlines, and one of them was really good. The other 5 were okay, I could use them, but if I tweak them. But it's really cool.
Yeah, for sure. Especially if you're just, how many times have you written that email and you're like, oh, I used the word, therefore 4 times. I need some other words and things like that.
So then you would just say, hey,
rewrite
this paragraph with less of that word.
Don't use the same words. Don't repeat words if possible. Things like that, and it'll kind of rewrite it for you. Like I said, I've seen news articles where someone's like, hey, do a quick news article about this, or for a tech article about this technology, but then you can take that generic spit out and then tailor it towards your company. So like for DS Tech, we could have one that's like, talk about the use cases of Microsoft 365. It'll spit out some information, but then we can actually take that and tailor it to how we actually use it with our customers to be more custom. So think of it as like it's a rough draft, whether it's headline rough draft, article rough draft, email rough draft, and then it can kind of tailor and tweak it. There's some kind of fun ones too, where it's like explain it like a second grader. You could take that advanced concept and it rewrites it in simple words for you to try to understand, and things like that.
I was playing with it and I told it to rewrite something like Betty White would say.
Okay, there you go.
And it was like, isn't that just peachy?
So exactly. So it's kind of neat. And that's like I said, for marketing, you can write a headline in the tone of Sean Connery or something. Whatever you want to do, you could have different kind of things go on there. So that's kind of where most people are using AI now, is within their news, media, marketing, that kind of stuff. And where it's kind of going into the future, in the immediate, like I said, middle ground would be a lot of tech programs are starting to implement this in the background. So for example, we use a program that goes on everyone's computer and it updates them, checks it for updates, all that kind of stuff. And we have tools that we write scripts so that way we can update things automatically. Well, it's getting to the point now where you can ask the AI bot, hey, can you write me a script to do X? And it will just give you the instructions right off the get-go. Now, you'd still need someone to actually verify, go through, make sure it's doing it correctly, do a test on like one computer before you do all of the standard stuff you kind of do with that. But it's augmenting and allowing text to create more, solve the actual problems and just use the tools that are given to them quicker and more efficiently. So that's even happening with certain tech programs, where it's kind of integrating the AI built in to where you can hit generate me some information and it'll kind of do that for you. You still need some oversight, obviously.
So you still got to know what you're doing.
Yeah, you can't just don't rely on it. It's like it would be like Google searching an answer and just taking the first website. And like that's the truth every time.
With it.
You want to usually look at multiple sources, compare, contrast. You still do the same thing with AI. I might ask it the same question 4 different ways, and then compare all the answers it gives me to see if it's different. You can just do different things. Like that's just the way I've searched and look at things.
Yeah.
I'm very
it's handy for little things too. Like give me another word for I don't know, or something.
Right, yeah.
Write me a script for this week's video.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Oh my gosh. Why don't you lay it out for me?
We should try that. We should do an entire AI generated episode. Give us a topic, give us a script.
Yep, we got-
see what it does now.
We have 3 people in it, so this is what Eli says, this is what Ginny says, and this is what Tim says.
Yep.
We should try it, just see what it
And so
does.
people are doing that. They're writing little, scripts and kind of
You
acting
can
on
do
them
that,
too.
actually.
And then where AI
You
is
never know.
also
No.
kind of going forward to not just with emails and stuff. A common one now too is that's called DALL-E, DALLE, and it's for images.
I saw
So
that.
you
That's
could-
so cool.
So you could type in, draw a football field in the style of Monet, blah, blah, or something, whatever,
Right.
and it will give you an AI image, like 3 or 4 of them, and then based on what you said. So again, you could be like, give me a new DS Tech logo, in red, white, and blue, or whatever we have, and it'll just spit out some, and then you can take that as a graphics artist and then tweak it, customize it. Is rough draft again. Just think of rough draft. So it'll spit that out. So people are doing that with images. And eventually it's going to transition to video as
And
well.
marketers, you don't have to worry about private label rights anymore.
Exactly, because if it's AI generated, it's
It's
open.
It's open.
Um,
You can use it.
yes,
The only thing is, I think there's a little logo in the bottom corner.
because
or
they want to know
something.
generated by because all the AIs
Actually,
are going
it's
to be
like a little
competing.
Little like bar, like it's like a
The
red.
QR code.
It's
or-
a little like I don't know. It's just like what red, black, or something.
Mhm.
It's right at the bottom. You can barely see it. But I think that
It's probably just an identifier to where if someone were to try to say use it privately and monetize
Yeah.
money off of it in a certain way, they could track that file. and
probably
things like that.
it's something that indicates to
Mhm.
the bots that this was created by a bot. Maybe.
Mhm.
So
kinda
anyway,
neat.
that's off topic.
And then kind of just going in the realm of where AI could take us.
Are you the real?
Yeah.
Okay.
Prove that you're not a robot.
We did an episode a while back about deepfakes.
Oh yeah,
We should almost revisit that now.
because it's with AI. Because there's
Anyway.
one with AI voice. It's called 11 Labs. 11 seconds of audio. You can recreate anyone's voice, and it's really good. Where AI automatic voice before was pretty poor. It sounds like the Microsoft Sam. There's no inflection. It just keeps reading right. Well, the new one now will have tone, inflection, take breaths while it's
It's kinda
speaking,
scary.
and so it's kind of creepy. It'll actually really imitate someone
Yeah.
very well. So I can
We'll
see.
we'll,
yeah.
we'll dive into
But,
that
yeah.
in a future topic.
Um, so where I see AI with the programming kind of implementing in the future, could be kind of neat, is where I see it kind of crossing the streams of different data sets. So where you might have, all this information about construction in your database, but you don't have anything about the prices of the materials or how far out they are, things like that. So for example, you can have a program that you can put a blueprint in if you're a construction company, and it will tell you can highlight an area of a building, and it'll tell you how much, 2x4s, plaster, the materials you need for that. If it's been programmed in here, it will tell you quantities and what you need. Well, using AI, it could tie that database in with, for example, Home Depot or 41 Lumber or whatever company you're getting your materials from. It can automatically pull that in the data sets, and maybe not only will it give you, here's how much wood you need, here's how much it's going to cost based on your closest market. You know what I mean? It could really tie in a lot of this information that is kind of in different silos of data, and now we can pull all of that together. Another example is like with supply chain. If you order something on Amazon, it's like you're going to get it in 3 days or 4 days. That information is just usually based on a couple different variables, like how long does it usually take? Are carriers booked in a certain area? Is it in the nearest warehouse? But with AI in the future, it can take that so much deeper, where it can look at the current weather patterns that are going on, all the different, more nuanced, the dryers and all the different things
It's
to
like-
give you a more precise and accurate measure of when that is going to arrive.
It's like it could almost do the thinking for us sometimes.
That's the idea, is the AI is going to take all this different data and then come up with the best solution based on all the information presented. That is sometimes hard for a human to look at all 10 variables and come up with the best path. Maybe it's, so that's kind of where it's going to be
Interesting.
kind of neat pulling all that stuff together.
We're getting
So,
into Star Trek land.
yeah.
I'm just saying.
I don't ever see AI like fully taking over, like they all say, it's whatever, because it's going to be programmed within its constraints. And realistically,
And
it
it's
can't create itself yet. I mean, maybe people are probably testing that. They're like, here's AI bot 1 and 2, and just let them go at it and just see how far they can go. I don't know if someone's done that yet, but I feel when you start taking the data and you give it the
Person of interest?
data, and
Did you see that one?
no,
No?
I haven't seen that one.
No?
Um,
Just popped into my head.
But the way we're programming it now is with this data set, you can do this with parameters. So that's kind of the ethical quandary right now is we need to have constraints on AI or it will just start replicating itself and who knows, what it's going to go at that point. That's where, so.
So that's where some of the controversy is and
is the idea.
fear.
And the fear is that AI will make a decision based on what's just logically the smart decision as opposed to morally correct. Say you have a thing, this is an extreme example, but it's like, say you wanted to help an area and the only way to help it would be to like destroy it. And so the AI is like, the only way to save this is to destroy it. And it could care less about the people there. And that's obviously not how the real world works. You need to take in all that into consideration before you just make decisions. And so that's where the people are worried that AI is just going to make logical based decisions without any sort of moral programming inside of it.
People still need to be in charge.
Yes.
Right?
And that's where the human oversight of that it goes into. So that's really where I think it's going to be kind of in the future, though, is it's going to take all those different data sets and it's going to give you information like that. Like, or you're going to have a lawyer and the lawyer is going to have this little AI assistant, which will have all of known case law of all the entire, history of that area. So when you're presented with a case, you can instantly pull up the 10 cases instantly that you are relevant to that and they could use that.
Cool.
Or like I touched on the other episode, you have like a house type robot. So all the doctors will have basically a house in their pocket. So when they walk in on a person, they're like, all right, he's got a fever, 100, this, and it'll give them a quick diagnostic of the 4 or 5 things that person could be experiencing based on all medical known history on existence. And then you as the doctor, your patient, which one's relevant to that person. So that's where I see it's really going to help professional services do their jobs quicker as almost like an automatic assistant in that regard. And that's where I see in the future it's actually going to help.
More like an automatic assistant. I like that. That AI better than the because it's not really artificial intelligence.
That's why I just want AAs, automatic assistants. I'll take those all day.
Yeah, for sure. That's cool.
Yeah.
Interesting. Is that all you got on your little list there?
That's all I got, I guess, on my list. It's just like I said, I like to make the joke. AI is just alternative way of indexing. It's just a way of taking all this data and it's just they're programming it in a way to take all that information and try to regurgitate you in a clean, concise format.
And help you.
And help you with your answer, obviously.
Automatic assistant. I'm going to call it that from now on.
Yeah.
I like that. So it can help you.
It's only as intelligent as the people programming it as well as the people using it.
Yes.
So it's going to be the same. So.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. That's cool. Well, that's a wrap for today. So make it a great day. Go to dstech.net where you can see our free assessments and stuff like that. And you can email us, security@dstech.net. If you have any questions, you know what? I forgot to say that last time. Make sure that you drop your questions because we like to answer them. It gives us ideas for future episodes and more ways to help you. So security@dstech.net if you want our newsletter or free assessments, whatever. We do all kinds of free stuff like scanning your network for holes and security scans. So that's it. Right, Eli?
That's right.
Good? Are we good? We're good. Make it a great day.